好，各位，那欢迎回到 KT SlowGrind， 我是 Tim。那这周的节目比较特别一点，这周是我会发出一个我去年其实有去匹兹堡的这个 Chirs Record Store， 它是一个黑胶唱片行，以前是 Mac Miller， 还有 Mac Miller 制作人，他们很常会就是逛这个黑胶唱片。Mac Miller 之前甚至有出一首歌，他的歌名就叫 Chirs Record Store， 那就是专门在讲这家唱片行。那当时我其实就是简单拍了一个 vlog， 但是其实我有跟他们现在的就是老板，他们的 owner Chirs 有做一个小简单的一个聊天访谈。那刚好一直在压在这个我的储存库里面，那今天就是发出来给大家看。主要影片内容大概有讲一些，就是他对就是实体黑胶，然后一些文化，然后还有有关他跟 Mac Miller 之前的一些记忆啊、互动啊等等。然后有提到就是说这个所谓我们 Chirs Records 的这个创办人 Jerry 他的一些故事，他怎么会承接下来这家店。但是我觉得是一个很轻松短短的一个访谈，然后希望大家会喜欢。好，那我们废话不多说，直接进入到正式的访谈。
Hi Chris, to start off, could you introduce yourself a bit to everyone watching my show and then tell us about your background?
Sure. My name's Christian Grauser. I go by Chris. I'm the owner of Jerry's Records, and I've owned it for almost 8.5 years now. And yeah.
Jerry Records is one of the most iconic record store in Pittsburgh. And what's the story behind Jerry Records, and what made you want to take over this store from Jerry?
Sure. So yeah, Jerry Weber started his first store, Record Graveyard, in 1977. In the early 80s, he switched it to Jerry's Records, and it's been around since then. We moved to this location in Squirrel Hill in '94. I had worked for Jerry for about 8-9 years before I bought the place from him, and he just, he started talking about retiring, and I think he kind of wanted me to take over it rather than, give it to someone else or sell it. I mean, he had offers from Brazil, even, like people just wanting to buy the inventory and stuff. Yeah, kind of worked out because I was also looking to start my own store, and this was kind of
it's a good opportunity and timing for you to take over it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so over the years, we have seen that music go from vinyl records to CDs to streaming platforms. So in today's, what is still so special, like the vinyl record still connects to people?
Yeah, it's an interesting history. I mean, how kind of started with records and now it's almost come back to it, right? Because in between we had, cassettes, CDs, then the whole downloading Napster era or whatever, and now streaming. But records have become more popular again. I mean, still compared to digital formats like streaming, maybe not so much, but they've overtaken CD sales by quite a bit now. I think if you really enjoy music, records are the way to go because you're more intentional about it. A lot of time with streaming stuff, you can just put on, hit play on, hit the play button, and then it's, 5 hours later you've been listening to music, right? But it's in the background, you know what I mean? You don't really have to take time with it. With records, you have to be present, right? And you get maybe 20-25 minutes aside, then you have to get up and flip the record and stuff like that. So if you actually want to listen to music, you have to be involved there rather than just letting it play in the background, So I think, and with the record stores, there's a community kind of, right? And it's a way to, which is something I think we're lacking now. I think
connect the people together.
Exactly.
Like, connect the music lover together, because when they're like searching out music, like records are there, and it's a really good place to like people who have same interests to know each other.
Exactly. And just learn about new stuff too, right? I mean, like for me, a recommendation from a record store employee or even a customer or whatever means more to me than just Googling, similar artists to whoever, right? And like, I trust that a human that I know more than AI or whatever, or whoever's doing it now. So
makes sense.
Yeah. So it's a community kind of, and like it's nice. I mean, that's one of the perks of the job is interacting with people and talking about music and stuff. Yeah.
I see. Gotcha. Mac Miller fans knows that Mac Miller used to visit Jerry Records, and then even made a song called Jerry Records Store. And have you ever heard any stories about Mac Miller visit here?
Yeah, I mean, he used to come in at that time. I was probably very part-time. Like that was, I think the tail end of when he used to come in here was like kind of when I started, and I was maybe working a day a week or something. So I actually never personally had any interactions with him, but I know he used to come in. I am more familiar with Big Germ, his producer, his earlier producer, who used to, and he actually, you know, still comes in, but like, you know, he was always a nice guy that would come and buy records, and I'm sure he bought records in here that he probably sampled and put on, you know, on some of the beats for Mac Miller or whatever. But yeah, he definitely used to come in. And Jerry, I remember Jerry, you know, mentioning it, that you know, it was like, oh, that kid that was, you know, in the back, and like, you know.
In your opinion, what's part of Mac Miller's song best represented in Pittsburgh soul and culture?
He just has a huge following here. People enjoyed the more original kind of like brand of hip hop that he was kind of doing. Yeah, around here he's big. I mean, people come from all over to like come here. They go to Blue Slide Park. They go to Frick Park Market or whatever.
Yeah, Frick Park Market. Yeah, we've been there.
Yeah.
And Blue Slide Park, and they even hold a 7-year anniversary party or what at Blue Slide Park at the end of August this year.
Yeah. I think every year that they actually and they did like there's a flyer out front for that, I think. Okay. Yeah. So we were like one of the official stops on the tour or whatever.
So in your opinion, like what kind of person Mac Miller is like to you as a local kid and as an artist?
I mean, you know, he means a lot. He definitely did a lot to put, I mean, you know, hip hop history in Pittsburgh goes back like even the 80s and stuff. I mean, there's, you know, we've certainly been a music town for a while. I mean, even going back to jazz in the 30s or whatever, but you know, I think he helped revive hip hop, its popularity, or you know, as far as Pittsburgh is concerned. Him and, you know, I mean, Wiz Khalifa, big success too, but yeah, definitely was instrumental in kind of like helping, you know, put Pittsburgh back on the map as far as hip hop. Yeah.
Have Wiz Khalifa ever visited here?
That I'm not sure about, honestly. Since we've been around so long, there's a good chance that if you're a musician in Pittsburgh starting from the late 70s on, there's a good chance that even, you know, when you were young, you came into Jerry's records at some point, right? If you're a record guy. I mean, Wiz Khalifa, you know, probably by the time he came out, who knows, maybe it was more CDs era, cassette CD area, obviously, right? But yeah, if you're a hip hop artist in here, if you haven't been in here, I guarantee your producer has.
For all the music and vinyl records lovers, is there one message you could share it with them?
Just one. That's tough.
It's fine. Like,
no,
like any like recommendations or advice or message?
Sure. Yeah. The one thing about, you know, collecting records or just listening to records is, you know, an open mind is probably the most important thing, right? Us being a used only store, you know, sometimes you might not find the exact artist you're looking for, but that's when an open mind is helpful, because then you take a chance on something, right? You see something, maybe that's the nice thing about records. You can see a cover and say, oh, that looks interesting, right? And then, you know, just give it a chance or whatever, because that's something that's harder to do, I think. I don't know, like, and there's a world of music out there that most people don't know about in a different genre than you're used to or whatever. So yeah, an open mind is helpful. And
because I'm actually from Taiwan, do you have any impression of any Taiwanese artists or Taiwanese music?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a whole lot.
I know like the Asian side, like whole Asian music.
Yeah, so we get, again, being used only, we get more older stuff, right? So most of our inventory is like pre-1990. I'd say the bulk of it. So we get Taiwanese pressings of you know, Western rock music in a way, right? Like Elton John record, you know, pressed in Taiwan. And from Asia, I mean, we'll get Japanese stuff more, or South Korean, like pop stuff, kind of. I think I've gotten some Taiwanese pop records too, like pop vocal stuff, but I'm sorry, but I don't remember the names. But yeah, every once in a while we get,
Like, to you personally, what's your favorite music genre? What do you listen to the most, like these days, or maybe like
these days? Probably like hard rock and metal. Yeah, I mean. So
you're always a rock and metal fans.
Yeah, but I like everything. I mean, you know, soul, like 60s, 70s soul stuff. I'm big into, again, 60s, 70s stuff. You know, usually things on the more on the funkier side as far as jazz. International music, yeah. I mean, I'm all over the place, but yeah, I listen to hard rock and metal slightly more than other things. Yeah. Probably my favorite part about the job is like this woman came in and she brought a $5 Christmas record up to the counter, and she said she almost like started crying in the back when she found it, because they were like her mom's records, and someone had gotten rid of all of the records at some point. And so all her cherished, Christmas records she remembers as a kid were all gone. So she was like, just so happy to find this Christmas record that she remembered. I mean, she was, probably 50 years ago for her, you know what I mean? And so she was very happy to find it.
This must mean a lot to her.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's honestly, that's the coolest part about the job, is when people come in and say, oh my God, or like, I've been looking for this for, 20 years and here it is,
I think that's one of the reasons why you still need this kind of record store.
And it's easier with the physical object, right? I mean, you have more of your senses working, right? Touch and sight and everything, right? Hearing, sight, all of that, right? And so like, it's different when you can see the thing and remember back to when, you were a kid or something, you know? And so like, that's probably the best part. It's a business decision to not, because they make it pretty hard for you to do well with new releases, mostly because now you're competing with like Amazon and these huge online retailers that are probably selling the album for the price that a small store can buy it for, right? And so, I mean, people like to support the store, so they're probably okay with paying a few more dollars for a record rather than buying it off Amazon. But it's a numbers thing. It's just like, but no, I would like to, because it's like, even just for Mac Miller stuff, I mean, we would do pretty well with Mac Miller records because people come in here and all the time and ask for them. But it's something I'm considering. Yeah. So maybe in the future we will sell new stuff as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That's all for the interview.
Okay, cool.